Welcome back to Road Revolt, where we dive deep into the machines that keep car culture alive. And today we're talking about a name that carries serious weight. The 2026 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, a badge that instantly brings to mind track-bred aggression, naturally aspirated power, and a no-compromise attitude. And for 2026, Chevrolet has positioned the Z28 as the purest, most hardcore Camaro for drivers who care more about lap times than luxury, more about feel than flashy gimmicks. And right from the start, this car makes it clear that it exists for one reason only: performance, because while the regular Camaro lineup continues to balance daily usability with speed, the Z28 strips things back and focuses on being a weapon on both road and track, starting with its design that looks functional rather than fashionable. With a wider stance, massive front air intakes, a vented hood designed to evacuate heat, aggressive aerodynamic elements, and a towering rear wing that isn't just for show but actually produces real downforce at speed. And Chevrolet's engineers have reportedly spent countless hours in the wind tunnel and on real tracks to ensure every line on this car serves a purpose. While lightweight materials like carbon fiber are used in the hood, splitter, and rear spoiler to reduce weight where it matters most. And even the wheels are forged and wrapped in ultra-sticky performance tires that hint at the levels of grip this car is capable of. And when you step inside the 2026 Camaro Z28, the theme continues with a cabin that feels more like a race car than a cruiser. Because while you still get a modern digital instrument cluster, performance telemetry, and Chevrolet's latest infotainment system, the focus is clearly on the driver. With deeply bolstered sports seats, optional racing buckets, a flat-bottom steering wheel, and minimal distractions, and sound insulation is reduced compared to other Camaros, meaning you hear more of the engine, the road, and the mechanical symphony that true enthusiasts crave. And speaking of the engine, this is where the 2026 Camaro Z28 truly earns its legend. Because under the hood, Chevrolet brings back a naturally aspirated V8 at a time when turbocharging and electrification dominate the industry. And early reports suggest a high-revving, Fahrwerk to 6.4-liter V8, inspired by Chevrolet's racing programs, producing an estimated 520 to 550 horsepower, with razor-sharp throttle response and a soundtrack that simply cannot be replicated by forced induction. And power is sent to the rear wheels through a standard 6-speed manual transmission, a move that has been widely praised by purists who believe the Z28 should always prioritize driver engagement over outright convenience. Although a limited production performance automatic may be offered in select markets, and acceleration figures are brutal, with 0 to 60 times expected to fall in the low 3-second range. But the real magic of the Z28 isn't straight-line speed. It's how the car behaves when pushed hard through corners. Thanks to a sophisticated suspension setup featuring Multimatic DSSV dampers, stiffer springs, thicker anti-roll bars, and a chassis tuned specifically for track dominance. And braking is handled by massive carbon ceramic brakes that provide fade-free stopping power even during extended track sessions, which not only improves performance but also reduces unsprung weight, further enhancing handling. And when you combine all of this with a limited slip differential, advanced traction management systems, and selectable drive modes that allow drivers to tailor the car's behavior, the result is a Camaro that feels alive in your hands, responsive to every input, and brutally honest about what it's doing at all times. And from a pricing perspective, the 2026 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 is expected to start around $75,000 to $85,000 US, depending on options and market, which places it firmly above the standard Camaro SS but still undercuts many European track-focused rivals, making it a compelling value for enthusiasts who want supercar-level performance without crossing into six-figure territory. And Chevrolet is expected to keep production numbers relatively low, with estimated global sales units ranging between 3,000 and 5,000 units annually, which not only helps maintain exclusivity but also ensures that the Z28 remains special rather than diluted, and this limited availability has already sparked significant interest among collectors and hardcore Camaro fans, many of whom see the 2026 Z28 as potentially one of the last great naturally aspirated manual transmission American performance cars in an era that is rapidly shifting toward electrification, and public reaction to the car has been intense, with social media, forums, and comment sections lighting up as soon as the first details were revealed. And a large portion of fans are praising Chevrolet for staying true to the Z28's roots by focusing on performance rather than luxury, with comments like, "This is the Camaro we've been waiting for," and finally, a modern muscle car that's built for the track. While others appreciate the decision to keep a manual transmission standard, calling it a bold move that shows Chevrolet still cares about driving enthusiasts, although there are also some criticisms, particularly around price and practicality, with some viewers pointing out that for the money, they would like to see a bit more daily usability, while others worry about rising insurance, costs, and limited visibility compared to smaller sports cars. But even many critics admit that the Z28 isn't trying to please everyone. It's targeting a specific audience, drivers who value feel, feedback, and raw performance above all else. And from a market perspective, the 2026 Camaro Z28 arrives at an interesting time as muscle cars face increasing pressure from emissions regulations and changing consumer preferences, making this model feel almost like a defiant statement from Chevrolet, a reminder of what the brand can do when it focuses purely on driving excitement. And if sales projections hold true and demand continues to outpace supply, the Z28 could become one of those cars that appreciates in value over time, especially if it ends up being one of the final high-performance Camaros before major changes to the lineup. And for those lucky enough to get behind the wheel, early driving impressions suggest the car delivers exactly what the badge promises, with razor-sharp steering, relentless grip, and an engine that begs to be revved, rewarding skilled drivers while still offering enough electronic safety nets to keep things manageable. And in the end, the 2026 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 isn't about chasing trends or appealing to the masses. It's about honoring a legacy and delivering an uncompromising performance experience. And whether you see it as a future classic, a weekend track toy, or the ultimate expression of American muscle in the modern era, there's no denying that this car has reignited passion and conversation across the automotive world. And here at Road Revolt, we see the 2026 Camaro Z28 as more than just another performance car. It's a statement, a reminder that driving can still be raw, emotional, and thrilling. And if this truly is one of the last of its kind, Chevrolet has made sure it goes out swinging.